Okay, guys. We've got a lot to get through as usual recently. So I see that people are still joining. We're up to 50, it's nudging up, but we'll kick off, shall we? Hey, Zorkis. So hello everyone. Welcome to our Autonomous community call. I'm Jim, the head of ecosystem at Autonomous, and I want to start by thanking each and every one of you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us today. It's your presence and engagement that make these calls so valuable. Before we dive into today's agenda, I'd like to introduce the team members joining me on the stage. We've got Randy, our technical community manager. We've got Emil, our developer community manager. We have Ryan, who's I just got community manager. It's not really doing you justice, Ryan. Pradeek is community lead and ambassador program manager. And we've also got Path, our head of partnerships, which is exciting. We had to bump our section from last week to this week. For those of you who might be new to our community or need a quick reminder, don't forget to follow us on our social media channels. On X, we're at AutonomousNet. Telegram, there's a link on our website to join the TG group. Obviously, you're already in Discord. And our forum is forum.autonomous.xyz. These platforms are great ways to stay updated on the latest autonomous news and engage with our community between these calls that we're holding. Now, let me quickly run through today's agenda. So we're going to kick off with Randy's going to give us the usual set piece, a network update and discussion of hot topics. I think we all know what the biggest hot topic is at the moment, of course, a certain GPU plotter. Then Emil's going to run us through the August developer efforts we'd like to highlight. Ryan's got something very exciting for us. He's going to give us an introduction to the Genesis data contest. I'm excited about that. It's an opportunity for everyone to become immortalized in the blockchain. I'm going to introduce our new community contributions channel. Sorry. I know that some in the crowd have already seen it. Got a bit of a preview. It was supposed to be a surprise. Then we've got a spotlight for someone else who's in the crowd. Hake Hardware. We want to highlight the amazing work that Alex is doing there. Pradeek's going to talk on the latest developments in the ambassador program. Path is going to lead a partnership roundup, which I'm looking forward to. And then, as usual, we'll round out with a robust Q&A session. As always, we encourage your participation. Feel free to raise your hand in Discord or post any questions in the event stage chat on the right there. We'll be addressing questions throughout the call, but we have reserved that time for a dedicated Q&A session at the end. So we will try and get through to everyone, get to everyone's questions before the end. So without further ado, let's get started with our network update. I'll hand it over to Randy to give us the latest numbers and developments. Randy, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jim. It's great to see everybody's faces, and I'm very excited about some of these updates. As Jim kind of hinted, we have some hot topic in particular we want to talk about. But let's go over the network update real quick. We're currently sitting around 4,800 nodes. You know, that fluctuates a little bit up and down, but it's been around 5,000 for a while, so it's pretty stable. And space pledge is around 138 petabytes today, so also stable. Our last release is the September 3rd one. We talked about this on the community call last week. It basically has some better thread selection for replotting on Threadrippers and epics and some hybrid Intel chips, some snap sync enhancements, and some translations for space acres. And while not an official new release, we did have a special test release, and that leads me into our hot topics, which is the GPU plotter. The highly awaited GPU plotter is now available for testing on certain systems. Currently, it can only be downloaded from GitHub with a special link, and you need to actually be logged in. I'm going to post that link here. It does require a Unix system with NVIDIA drivers version 550 or 560. A Windows version should be coming out fairly soon. It also works with Farming Cluster. I myself have ran it on a machine with one 3070 Ti and another machine with 6 4070 Ti Supers. And other than one or two times when the farmer stopped, it's been very stable for first release. I think the biggest question on everyone's mind is how fast is it? I know Vexer's doing 6-second plots and has been able to tweak some things to get it to run even faster. I've actually plotted, I decided to just remove a couple plots and see how fast I could get things to go. And while I haven't tracked the exact speed, I have plotted over 45 terabytes since it's been released. We've had at least one optimization released, and there should be more to come soon, and we should expect further increases. If you want to participate in testing out the GPU plotter, just try out the link that was provided. And if you have any questions at all or want to discuss things, head on over to Farmer Support and Discord and join the conversation. Back to you, Jim.
Thanks, Randy. Yeah, so it's been wonderful seeing the roller coaster that has been the chat around the GPU plotter as everyone's kind of pulling together, sharing their experiences, sharing their tips. The whole 550, 560 driver episode was quite interesting for me. I'm probably a bit sad. So, sorry, Randy, how many terabytes have you plotted on it already? Did you say 45?
That would be 45.
Wow. Okay, that's seriously impressive, and it's probably worth just mentioning that we did talk on this a little while ago, but there's actually a difference between the GPU compatible plots, compatible plot format, and the CPU, the original CPU format. So if you have old plots like I do, they're not going to just work. So you will have to replot them, but the good news is, of course, that you can rip out 45 terabytes in a few days. So, yeah, any questions or problems with the GPU plotter, do feel free to ping myself or Randy. That's if Vexer doesn't jump in before us and answers your questions without giving us a chance to answer. Not that we're complaining, Vexer. We really do appreciate everything you do for us. Okay, so moving on. Emil, are you going to give us a rundown on the August developer efforts?
Absolutely, I'd love to. Hey everyone, and thanks for joining us today. As you probably have seen, we posted these announcements highlighting developer efforts monthly in our Discord in the announcement channels. But we do think that every contributor deserves some extra love, so I would love to go through the list of contributions. Jim, if you can switch over to the next slide, please. I'm pleased to present our developer community highlights for August 2024. Let's review significant contributions that have propelled our project forward this month. First, let's discuss our code contributions. In our monorepo, we've seen several important pull requests. PR 2965 that adjusted parameters for the if signer function by Asamush, PRs 2978 that relocated piece cache state into submodule, PR 2987 that enhanced the farmer identity responder comment, PR 2989 that refactored the farmer cache get piece function. These last three PRs were submitted by one of our most committed contributors, TDO5, who also has scored 750 USDC for their contributions last month. And last but not the least, PR 2981, which corrected a typo by Elto Seer. For the space seekers, we've seen some really notable enhancements in internationalization. Our community members added user interfaces in Mandarin, Serbian, Russian, and German, which significantly expand our global reach. We thank Inurik, Spell777, Hairtail, and Max1M for their contributions. In the Astral, PR 813 by Guspan Tanari, which updated some outdated links, ensuring all information is accurate and up to date. Jim, if you can go over to the next slide, please. Turning to our translation efforts, where our community has been exceptionally productive. We had 6 contributors translating over 10,000 words across 5 languages. Special recognition goes to Zolkis, our top translator this month, who will receive 50 USDC reward for translating over 4,000 words. Honorable mentions go to Handot, Lucky Sprite, TimeDAO, Scorpio 2017, and Bing Bang. I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude to everyone who contributed this month. Your effort, whether through code submissions or translations, are absolutely instrumental to the growth and improvement of Autonomous. Remember, we value every contribution, regardless of its size. I encourage you all to continue your excellent work and keep an eye on our contributions and translation contests, which are ongoing. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to seeing what we can achieve together in the coming month. And now, I'd like to give it over to Ryan.
What's up, amazing community? I have a very exciting thing to show you guys today. I want to introduce the Genesis data competition. And I'm going to go into these details of what exactly this contest will contain. One second. Yeah, so the mainnet Genesis data contest is a great opportunity for everyone to collectively shape our blockchain. It's not just any data you're adding, it's the seed data that will forever be etched into our network. And this seed data is really crucial for jumpstarting a robust blockchain ecosystem. By participating in this contest and proposing data to add to the Genesis block, you're breathing life into our network. Really think of it as a digital time capsule that future generations will look back on. So I'm going to just list out some details, but there'll be a full forum post detailing everything. The data should be between 1 kilobyte and 1 gigabyte in size. You submit it through a Discord forum post thread in the Genesis seed data forum channel within Discord, and we will be giving out a ton of rewards. There'll be 3 full Autonomous merchandise packages that will be distributed to the community favorite, the team favorite, and the ambassador favorite. But besides the top 3 winners, there'll also be 20 runner-up prizes with a smaller merch reward. But obviously, everyone has a chance to be immortalized in the Autonomous blockchain Genesis seed data, and that is the best prize of it. So watch out on forum posts. I'll be posting it all on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or anyone else on the ecosystem team. Jim, back to you.
Thanks, Ryan. So I just want to clarify a couple of things, Ryan. So if I want to get some data included in the seed data, of course, everyone remembers that we seed some data at the start of the network to bootstrap it. So I make a post here in Discord, is that right?
Yeah, so I have an example submission that I can send to everyone, but essentially all you do is send the file or the picture that you want to add, write a little description on what it is, and also why it's important to the community, make your case to the community, and then all you do is vote by reacting to that post.
Okay, excellent. So I've got plenty of pictures of my dog that I'm going to be submitting and trying to drum up some likes for, so she can appear in the be immortalised in that seed data forever. And yeah, do keep an eye out for the forum post, which has the full details. You'll see a new channel appear in Discord shortly after the call. And yeah, any questions about the mechanics there? Do reach out. It's a great opportunity for you to win some of our fresh Autonomous merch, which is looking great. Another item that Ryan's leading the charge on. Okay, so thanks, Ryan. So I want to highlight, or I want to talk on something new as well. I know that it's already open, so you can go and check it out now. There is a hash community contributions channel. So this is going to be a relatively short section for me. I know I tend to waffle on for quite a while, but it's still one with massive impact. As Emil mentioned earlier, we do love seeing community contributions of all kinds. They're not always pure development, but dev tasks definitely resonate with the team. We're quite a bunch of nerds, really. Emil's recent post celebrating developer achievements, coupled with an ask from Hake Hardware, who's in the crowd today, came very close together. And we decided to take action on a suggestion from Hake, actually. So I am excited to announce the launch of our new community contributions channel here in Discord. It's designed to showcase and celebrate the incredible work of our community members by providing a dedicated space for approved contributors to share their autonomous related content. What's our reasoning behind introducing a new channel for this purpose? So one, we'd like a way to better organise and highlight those valuable community created resources. The general chats can get a bit chaotic at times, so having a quiet place where new contributions and updates to existing ones really stand out and are given the space and respect they deserve. That's one of our goals. Two, we also want to encourage and reward high quality contributions from our members. The channel is role gated to only those who earn the community contributor role. This will be added at staff discretion based on the relevance and impact of contributions made. Reach out to a team member if you're working on something you feel qualifies. And three, finally, we want to make it as easy as possible for community members to find and benefit from these resources. Subscribing to notifications on that community contributions channel is going to be a great way to make sure you're always going to be aware about the latest developments, features, and releases being made. So what kind of content do we expect to see in the channel? We purposefully not put a hard limit on what is eligible. As long as the contribution has real impact for the community, it will be considered. Based on the activity we already see, it will include in-depth guides and tutorials, something that Hake has been working on. Educational video content. I've seen some fantastic videos posted by our community. Community developed tools and scripts. I mean, I mentioned some names in a minute, but you know, we've got like monitoring tools, various scripts to deploy the farmer. And then finally, we want to see insightful original articles and analysis about Autonomys. A great example is indeed Hake Hardware, and we'll be shining the spotlight on Alex's efforts just shortly. We have to give him a shout out as the recent 10-part mega guide he's partway through deploying via YouTube and Substack is a great example of the kind of content we love to see. If you're a Docker fan, these videos are for you. It's a phenomenal effort, and this type of comprehensive content deserves a dedicated space for recognition, which is what this is all about. So honourable mentions, I'm not sure if he's on the call, but it has to go to Wolfrage for the monitoring and inverted commas thingy tool, which has been with us for a while now and evolved as the Node and Farmer software has. We understand the effort that goes into maintaining such a tool. Similarly, RS00 has been maintaining an alternative monitoring dashboard, which has also had multiple iterations and built a considerable following. And who could forget Zorkis? I know he's in the chat, I've seen him commenting. So Zorkis became an ambassador a while back, but the team see the great effort put into the staking dashboards. And I still recall the incentivized testnet launch countdown timer you put together, Zorkis, which was a year ago, believe it or not. It's gone so quickly. I believe Zorkis is also responsible for a number of community contract deployments on the Nova EVM domain, which again, we really love to see. You know, we'd love to see our community building on the infrastructure that we're providing. We're genuinely thrilled to see such dedication from our community members, and these four will form our foundational community contributors. We are aware that there are others in our community who deserve the role, so please do reach out, give us a nudge. So if you've got what it takes to join them, please do reach out to any member of the ecosystem team and we'll take a look at the contribution. We do want to keep standards high, so refrying existing content through an LLM or low effort memes will not cut the mustard. And as I wrote this earlier, I was reminded actually of something. I'm not sure if is Penguin on the call. I haven't seen him. Yeah, okay, he's just mentioned. So I think you'll like this one. So high quality insightful memes. So who can forget this doozy from Lazy Penguin back in the day? I'm not sure if everyone's going to get the context. So we were having some problems, and Penguin managed to absolutely nail the sentiment in the community. There was an expectation that you'd be able to kind of build plots of infinite size, and you know, on a test net, we realised that wasn't strictly true. And this gave us a real good laugh. I'm going to say in the office, but obviously we're a globally distributed team. It gave us a good laugh in our internal Slack. So thanks for that. And while I was searching for that one, I found this absolute belter from Emil, which I believe was around the launch of Gemini 3H. And again, it made me chuckle. Obviously, we are here to support everyone. Yeah, some self-directed study sometimes goes a long way. We encourage all community members, getting back to the point, with valuable insights and content to apply. The benefits our community contributors will see include increased visibility for your work. So more Discord denizens are likely to find your items when they're organised in a single place rather than buried in the chat. Recognition from the Autonomys team and community. We do follow our community very closely, and we believe it's high time we formalise recognition for the efforts being undertaken. There's potential for further collaboration opportunities. So other community members may recognise synergies with either their skill sets or something that they're working on that could lead to a collaborative effort and a stronger contribution overall. Note that we do want to reserve the channel purely for the intended purpose. This means we will be quite strict on deleting off-topic content. But to be clear, we do want to see responses and feedback to posts, but they do have to be related to the OP's updates. So please do bear that in mind. We believe this new channel will significantly enhance our community's knowledge sharing and collaboration, and we can't wait to see what you all will contribute. And on that note, I believe we're going to have Emil and Randy add a little more colour to what's been going on over at Hake Hardware. So do you want to take it away, chaps?
Thank you, Jim. Although I don't know if I should say thank you since you stole a lot of my thunder here about Hake already. So basically, one of our community members, Hake Hardware, he has a great YouTube channel with over 100 crypto-related instructional videos, including some on Autonomys. And I know he's posted the link to one of them, but I'm going to post a link to his channel here as well. Some of his guides, including setting up clusters, becoming an operator, how to become a verified farmer, and even a new one about the GPU plotter. And as Jim mentioned earlier, Hake has what's shaping up to be a multi-part ultimate guide for setting up Autonomys. He's a believer in Docker containers, big believer. So there's a big focus on using Docker. These videos are very detailed, and I highly recommend them if you're interested in learning more about Autonomys, and in particular, if you're interested in using Docker. I've watched the first 4 videos myself, and I look forward to watching the rest. And Emil is going to mention one of the other things that Hake's working on, and that's Spaceport.
Yeah, Spaceport is amazing. Like, to be fair, I'm SpaceAcres guy, so like on my local machines, I used to be running advanced CLI, but I switched over to SpaceAcres as we've been adding more features. But I was hugely impressed by by the Spaceport. Let me just briefly, in a few words, tell what Spaceport is. Spaceport is the monitoring and management system for Autonomys, created by Hake Hardware, obviously, which should be especially interested for those who already run autonomous node in Docker. It's a fourth-party frontend for node runners. And Spaceport consists of 3 main components. Cosmos, which is a front-end interface, MySQL for data storage, and Hubble. Hubble is an agent that collects and parses logs from autonomous containers. The system is designed to run in a Docker environment, as I mentioned, with Cosmos and MySQL running on a dedicated network, while Hubble instances are deployed on each host running autonomous containers. So you can also run it in just one machine, of course. Spaceport collects events and data from the node, stores them in centralized database, and presents that information through the web interface, allowing users to monitor and manage their autonomous deployment very effectively. In a nutshell, Spaceport is a comprehensive management tool for the autonomous ecosystem. I know it's still under active development, and we at Autonomous will be following all improvements and features very, very closely. Thank you, Alex, for such a unique product. It's over to you, Randy.
So just to kind of wrap things up about this, we love community contributions, as Jim mentioned. We've got some great monitoring tools, Wolf Rage and RS, and I see that even Vexer has a rewards calculator. Spaceport is now joining that list. To be honest, I am now considering taking my 13 machines and installing Docker so that I can take advantage of this. Hopefully next week we'll be able to take a deeper dive on this and maybe have Hake take the stage. Back to you, Jim.
Thanks, Randy. So you heard it here first. Randy has been his eyes have been drawn over to the dark side, the Docker side. I must admit that I had or I still have quite a infrastructure as code fetish, and I do love a good Docker container. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the. I think we're up to part five so far. I may have missed one. They're coming out so quickly. But I'm looking forward to the rest of the series. And yeah, really, we're hoping to have Alex come and join us next week on the call to give us a deeper dive into what's going on there. So thanks very much, Emil and Randy. Pradeep, I believe you're going to give us a rundown on updates over in the ambassador program. We see lots of ambassadors in the crowd today, which is wonderful to see.
Yeah, super excited to see that. Hope everyone can hear me well. I'll just take a brief moment to shine a light on some of the contribution of our awesome ambassador program. As the program scales, the bylaws of governance needed rethinking. Now, the governance team, which is a cross-functional group with members from all teams, gather and buzz with ideas to ensure the accountability and efficiency are reflected in the bylaws. Now, the result, a new set of norms to shape the future of the program, and there's no hype or exaggeration here. The bylaws improve workflows to make sure the community remains strong. Jonathan, Ivan, William, Zolkis, Skylar, Punky, Captain Clog, Scorpio, thank you so much for your assistance over this past months to make it happen. We still need help to keep pushing on the governance side, and we welcome more ambassadors across the board to join this governance effort. Now, rolling out these new bylaws at scale requires slick automation within the MOS v2. Now, for those who are not familiar with MOS v2 is, it is the program's ambassador's native operational system. Today, it is mostly centered on to automate peer review, but in the works to stretch to workflows for all things ambassador. Our deep appreciation to Jonathan and William Mathematics for leading the charge on MOS automation with such collaboration and passion, really. Meanwhile, next slide, in the towers of support and engineering, when the first test build of the GPU plotter we've been talking about was released, faster and more powerful than ever, the support and ambassadors sprang into action vigorously. They really leapt onto the project with enthusiasm, testing, tweaking, and really pushing the boundaries to improve the entire initiative. I mean, we are deeply grateful for that. And equally inspiring, supporting on Discord and Telegram remains Lightspeed, fast, reliable, and always there, alongside exemplary efforts to reshape Telegram and bring up the hard questions in the forum. Pretty awesome support team. We can't be more proud of you. But the ambassador program, I may say, also extends beyond technology. Next slide, please. The engagement team, led by Ivan here, forms a group of innovators, storytellers, and educators. They craft educational tools and campaigns like no other. They really weave quests and quizzes into captivating tales, each lesson on an adventure, each quiz a journey through the mind, and the people really love it. Really, really great work there. On X, meanwhile, these stories also spread like wildfire. Thanks to the education and content team, producers like Chain Guys, Ludmila, Nakoturk, Keith, Ola, Dennis, Bing Bang, Alex, Casper, Alexander 100, Anna, MRPUs, Simon Hopper, Yummy. I mean, the education and content team proudly stands as the second largest in ambassador count, and my apologies for not being able to acknowledge everyone. But your excitement certainly brings more and more citizens into the fold. You rock. In the next slide, last but certainly not least, the onboarding and growth team works tirelessly. We started Q3 over 435 candidates applying to join the ranks. Now, in a matter of days, the onboarding group made up of 49 brave souls from all teams. That is, by the way, more than half of the total ambassador count. Assess each candidate and now conducts interviews to hopefully welcome bright minds into the program. Truly, really, truly a time for unparalleled teamwork, and we cannot feel more grateful. Thank you all very much. And drop mic to Parth.
The ambassador program, bringing the fire, most definitely. We appreciate everything you do for us, guys. Hey, Parth, are you your mic's still working? Are you able to give us a rundown on partnerships?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for it, Jim. So first of all, this is my first. Really appreciate the team. I can see 69 in the audience, and the community is huge. So this is I'll give a big small intro for myself. I joined Autonomous in July, beginning of July, as a head of partnerships and growth. And in my professional experience, I'll have like 5+ years of experience in the crypto space. I started out with a management consultant with UI Parthenon, advising State Street and Visa clients like those in the enterprise space in the crypto space. And then kind of joined hands with Polygon, which is one of the L2s, build their growths and partnerships at Polygon, and then started my own startup in the Web3 space. Advised Fortune 500 companies in the Web3 projects. So now I'm here with Autonomous. So it has been a great journey for me. I have been part of Web3 for more reasons than one. So obviously the things that have attracted to me about Autonomous is the products that they have and the community. So this time I'm getting a chance to address the community. So this is a great opportunity for me. The objective of this particular slide is to express what my job is at Autonomous. So I come out with a person who is having outer perspective on things. So my job is to see what products are there in the market, how the competitors are positioning themselves, what are they building out, and what are the needs of the clients. So these are two parallel activities that I do, and based on the results of those activities, I feed the technical team on if there is a product development which is required, what are the client requirements, and how do we move forward. As a result of our actions and activities, initiatives that we have taken in these 2 months, what we have got is 70+ conversations with partners, and 60+ conversations with the partners, and we have unfolded 10+ partnerships already. News will be coming out, blogs and AMAs are in the pipelines. You would have listened to our CEO Labhesh at the AMA sessions with Vana, Hemera. So they were our very first partners. Very soon, Ring Fence and Hemera, and very soon the conversations with Vana is also going to come out. So I'm sure those announcements will go on. I think Twitter's, and you guys can check out there. So what kind of partners we are currently engaging with is so it is related to the Web3 AI stack. So you can say crowdsourcing data projects, inferencing projects, AI model projects, and agent projects, and stuffs like that. And the other pieces that we are also pulling together is regarding the Web3 infrastructure sites. The reason is that once the dApps are going to be onboarded, we want them to have a holistic ecosystem to build the dApps, be it in terms of interoperability, be it in terms of wallets and the other solutions, so that there is an ease of kind of a developer onboarding for us. So yeah, as a result of these actions, as I have listed very few because of the space constraints. Ring fence, you already know. Hemera has been out there. Vana is the other gen layer. Rieger AI is the new one. Public AI and Compute Labs are the new ones. They are not disclosed yet. They'll be coming up, and then there are many more to come. So I would say stay tuned to the Twitter Spaces. There are going to be a lot of announcements. We have a wonderful marketing team. You met Peter at the last call, and I think the team is doing a good job in the marketing space, and there's a lot of news that is going to come around. And Token 2049, me, myself, and some of the team members will be there. If you guys are there, more than happy to connect with you. Our team has multiple events there, and looking forward to connecting with you guys if you are attending. Over to you, Jim.
Thanks, Parth. Yeah, so you crammed a lot in there. We are exceptionally lucky to have Parth on the Autonomous team. In such a short time, the amount of partnerships and just the volume of people that Parth is speaking to about potential synergies between our projects is astounding. You dropped Peter in as well. I think that yourself and Peter have both. It's not hit the ground running; it's hit the ground sprinting. And again, we're very lucky to have you both, which is wonderful. And just to kind of solidify the partners that you've mentioned. So Ringfence, Hemera, and Varna. I'm going to post shortly after the call. I'm going to put a post in Discord. We have posted on Twitter about these guys. If you don't follow us on Twitter, please do. There's an associated blog post with each of them, laying out kind of where we see the opportunities. And I will provide like a roundup in Discord and Telegram shortly after the call. But yeah, very exciting things going on in partnerships. And again, as Parth said, we're attending Token 2049. I think we're hosting or co-hosting 5 events. So if you do want to connect, or you know someone who might want to connect, please do pass them our details, and we'll try and get you hooked up. Okay, I think that's it for our kind of our content today. So as usual, we're going to transition into Q&A segment. Now, let me bring up the chat quickly because I'm running the slides as well. I'm kind of stuck on screen real estate. I'm going to try and find the first one we've got. I see a long one from Penguin. Okay, right. Let's go down. Here we are. Okay, so Ula, our ambassador, we're loving the content, loving your engagement on Twitter as well, Ula. So you've got some questions here waiting to be answered during Q&A segment. One, how big is the Genesis seed? Will it be bigger than 3H? Will it exceed 100 gigabytes? That's a great question. So I mentioned this previously, but we have launched testnet networks at both ends of the scale. So if you have too much seed data, then what happens is there can be a bit of a logjam as everyone's trying to download it. Everyone's frantically trying to get pieces from each other. We had that on a previous network. Admittedly, there were some other factors at play there. And then at the other end of the scale, if we don't put enough seed data onto the network, then you've got the situation where we trigger a lot of replots. Of course, replotting happens. So replotting is an essential feature of the network. Replotting is how new data coming onto the network can be stored. Of course, you can store the blockchain history in your plots, but what about once you're fully plotted, what happens to transaction data that's coming into the network after that? Replotting is how that happens. So your plot will expire and you'll replot and you'll get a piece of the new data in there. So what can happen is if there's not enough seed data, the replotting occurs at every time. Let me get this right. You will replot. I think it's half your plot for every time the blockchain history doubles. So if that's doubling every day, then essentially you're just constantly replotting. Obviously, we didn't have it quite that extreme, but we do appreciate that there's like an overhead to not having enough seed data. So we believe we're in the golden zone, the Goldilocks zone. Is somewhere, to actually answer your question, Ula, is somewhere between 20 to 25 gigabytes. And in the rules, in the Genesis data contest rules that Ryan's going to post shortly, you'll see that there is unfortunately a limit, which is between 20 to 25 gigabytes. So we do have an exact number in mind, which was arrived at in consultation with Daria as head of protocol engineering and the rest of the team. 2, when the second phase goes online in Q1 2025, will all tokens on the test network be traded immediately? There will be no lockup, right? So testnet tokens, so transfers are disabled during phase 1. There is no lockup on incentivized testnet rewards. So no is the answer to 2. There will be no lockup, or yes, depending on which way you want me to answer that. There will be no lockup on incentivized testnet rewards. 3, China has a National Day holiday from October 1st to 7th. Will the main network launch coincide with this period? I don't have an exact date for you. I would tentatively say it will be later than that, but I will make sure. I'm going to take a note now to make sure that that's considered. 1st to the 7th of October. Thanks for highlighting that, Ula. And thanks for the questions and the engagement on Twitter and the report, the wonderful report you produced. We really liked reading that. Okay, Penguin, good evening. Number of interesting announcements last week. I have a number of questions. 1, GPU plotter. Of course, GPU plotting speed is 50x of Threadripper speed. Could you elaborate on the specs of the video card and processor? I don't have that information to hand, I'm afraid. That information, though, is in one of the DevSync videos. I did see this question scroll past earlier. Which Threadripper CPU? Obviously, they're not all equal. But I think actually maybe if you search Discord for Threadripper, you'll find a comment from Nazar where he lays out exactly which CPU it is. And I think the reference machine might have been a 4090. The reference card. The information is out there. I'm afraid I don't have it to hand. There's a bit of a scavenger hunt there for anyone who wants to take it or anyone who knows off the top of their head.
I believe it was a 3000 Threadripper.
A 3000. Thank you, Randy. Saved me there. Was it a 4090? Do you remember?
I believe so.
Okay. Okay, 2. Okay, Randy, don't mute just because question 2. Is there a list of supported graphic cards? For example, is it possible to do plotting on outdated graphic cards like NVIDIA GTX 1660 or some AMD RX 570? Guys in the chat rooms are already asking questions and I don't know what to answer them. Okay, so I believe I read that GTX series cards aren't supported. I think it's from RTX 20 anything. I think that's correct, Randy.
Yeah, you need the RTX. The GTX won't work.
Yeah, and I think it's from like 2000 series onwards. I think anything 2000 plus is going to work. I am afraid I'm not even sure on the the numbering on the AMD cards.
Well, Nazar did post a list, and there are some that are included and some that are not. So it's we'll provide all the instructions on that, but it's a good question. I'll follow up on that.
Thanks, Randy. And yeah, do remember, of course, that these are the build that's currently out there is kind of fresh from the oven, almost like a kind of integration test build. Nazar has been quite candid, explaining that actually this is kind of as soon as I've got it to work, I've put it out in the wild. So there are optimizations being worked on. I know some have already been delivered, for example. But thanks, Randy. Yeah, if we could provide some clarity. Obviously, when we shift from the current kind of more experimental builds into something that we feel is more, let's say, production ready, at that point, I expect we're going to, we will update the documentation with supported card details. So yeah, we can probably get a jump on that, Randy. 3, is it possible to use several video cards at the same time when drawing? It's interesting about the drawing translation. I'm not certain you mean plotting. Yes, I believe it is. I'm sure I've seen, I'm pretty sure I've seen Vexer has reported that he's running multiple GPUs in the same machine, because of course the cluster will support multiple cards on multiple machines, even if we only supported one. But I'm pretty sure. Okay, yeah, I can see Vex has just confirmed it at the bottom of the chat.
I'm running 6 of them in mine. So
45 terabytes. Now we see how. Okay. Right, on DevSync from the 9th of September, it was said that data flow cannot load the card. As I understood, if plotting several plots at the same time, it will help to eliminate this disadvantage. Is this correct? Although, as I know, the GP plotter work has not been finalized yet. Data flow cannot load the card. Okay. Randy, did you pick up on this one? I don't recall.
no, I'm not exactly sure what is being referred to there. I do know that having several different destination plotters helped eliminate some of my bottlenecks by having so many GPUs and with network bandwidths to each machine and things like that.
Okay. Okay. Penguin, maybe if you can give us the error message, we can take a look. I do know that I've seen some error messages about not identifying GPUs, but that was mainly around driver incompatibility. Trying to think what other issues we could be talking about here. But yeah, let's try and get some clarity. Feel free to pop a link to a discussion maybe at the end of the chat. Okay, 5. Question 5. Please clarify about September the 18th. So next Wednesday. On September the 18th, will the rewards in the test network be turned off, or will the Gemini 3H test network also be turned off? The question is for understanding whether I will be able to use the current network to try the GPU plotter on my hardware and find the best way to build a computer for our project. Great question. So we are ending incentivized testnet rewards next week. We have to do that because we have to cease the reward pool growth so that we can finalize our tokenomics. We have to make sure that we know all the numbers when we produce the pie chart that everyone is so eager to see. So something interesting about a permissionless decentralized network, Penguin, is that we can't actually turn it off. It'll go on for as long as people are running nodes on it. So yeah, it's not shutting down, and we absolutely see that it's a great opportunity. So when we turn off the incentivized testnet rewards, the testnet continues, and as we mentioned last week, that is a great opportunity for everyone to strip down their rack, rebuild it, reconfigure however you want to, move drives around, move cards around. The pressure's off now, so you get a chance to get a bit more creative and express yourself with your build. So to answer your question, incentives off, network will continue. We still have people running 3F and 3G. If you check telemetry, you could join those if you really wanted to. But yeah, 3H will definitely still continue, and we expect that it'll probably continue relatively strong until everyone's joins us for the space race when we launch mainnet phase 1. Okay. 6. Will GPU built plots work, farming and replotting on CPU only machines? Yes. So there's a V, I think it's a V0 and a V1 version to the plots. You can only GPU plot against V1 plots, but CPU plotting works on V0 and V1. Hopefully that's clear. 7. Could you please provide a link/resource from where those who wish can take a GPU plotter for testing? Randy's just dropped it at the end of the chat there. Penguin, thank you, Randy. If you can find it in Discord in the chat. If you search for GPU, I'm sure you'll find it pretty quickly. Great questions, as usual, Penguin, giving me a real workout, which is good. Moving on, Quinn. Okay, another of our ambassadors. GPU plotting speed is 50x of Threadripper speed. Okay, right. I see what's going on here. I think this is a little bit of humble brag here, Quinn. I'm not sure I buy this statistic. I have a 7975 WXTR. Gets me 45 sectors. Okay, well, that's already pretty spicy. With a 4070 Ti Super, I get 10 sectors. I mean, it's great. This is not a complaint, but where does this 50x figure come from? So, as Randy alluded to earlier, we're comparing a 3000 series Threadripper with 4090. And it's a great point. We could make up any statistic, I guess. But yeah, humble brag. I'd give quite a lot to have the chip that you have there. That's pretty impressive.
I'd like
But
to
yeah,
add a little bit actually here.
course.
Nazar had mentioned that this 50X was comparing a very old build when I believe they first started the GPU project. So since then, we've improved the performance of the CPU plotter quite a bit. So 50X is a little bit of a stretch, but the other thing to remember is we're not even close to being done to optimizing this thing. So I know Nazar has a lot of cool stuff planned on how to make it get even better. So.
Thanks, Randy. Great points, of course. Yeah, it's a bit of a moving target, isn't it? Okay, moving on. And thanks to everyone who's popping the question marks on the questions, making my life easier. Okay, Zorkis. Will the result of KZG ceremony June 2023 be used in the upcoming mainnet launch? Zorkis, I think you've just come up with a great submission in the Genesis data contest, my friend. Yeah, when Ryan opens the channel, feel free to jump in. You don't have to provide the data immediately. If you pop the idea in there and just provide like a little bit of information about what it is, you'll have time to fill in the details later on. But that's an absolutely wonderful idea. That's exactly the kind of thinking that we like to see. Excellent, Zorkis. So will it be used? There's every chance it could be used if you are voted up high enough or voted by as team ambassador or community favorite are all the ways you can win. Again, moving on. There's a big gap. Right, okay. Dress code PC1. So if I understand correctly, we will no longer be using our SSDs but graphics cards instead. Not quite true. I can see you've had some answers already, but for anyone who had the same question, who's catching up later on YouTube, so the SSDs still need to hold your plot, and you still need SSDs because we need that random access for you to be able to generate the proofs quickly enough. Sorry, to run the audits quick enough. And what the GPU does is it replaces the CPU when you're plotting. So basically, you're taking the data and you are storing it based on your key, and that process is quite intensive. It's quite mathematically intense. So what the change is that your CPU gets to take a bit of a break because it's not having to run the plotting as well as the farming. And the advantages, of course, are that running that complex math on a GPU is faster and more energy efficient. This is something that I know that everyone's kind of got there, is excited by the speed at which we can fill our drives. But of course, the one of the real really impactful side effects here is that we're going to use a lot less energy to plot, and plotting and replotting is the expensive part. Hopefully that explains things. If not, do pop a follow-up question. You're welcome, Penguin. Thanking us for the answers. Zorkis, will the KZG ceremony contributors be rewarded somehow? We don't have a plan there for that, Zorkis. But interesting question. Certainly something we could continue. We could consider further down the line, maybe. Okay, well, I've caught up. Amazing. Any further questions? Okay. Yep, just double checking I didn't miss anything. I will catch up on all the rest of the chats later on. Oh, Charlie. Okay, Charlie, a rather leading question there. Will there be a GPU domain? So let's not rule it out, Charlie. One of the wonderful things about the way that the autonomous network, based on the subspace protocol, is organized is that the domains are these modular decoupled execution environments. And something that is really trick about the subspace protocol and therefore the autonomous network, which is implementation of it, is that the domains can have custom runtimes. So obviously, everyone's familiar already with the EVM domain, as you'd expect. And we've also got the auto ID domain as well, which has a custom runtime that we've produced. Now, when I say custom runtime, you can actually tailor the code in that runtime for your specific use case. So if you want fast data throughput, if you want bigger blocks, if you want faster blocks, whatever characteristics you need on your domain, which is essentially like an L2 or a roll up, however you want to think of it. It has its own token, its own native token. They can talk to each other through cross-domain messaging. But the interesting thing, of course, is that you can tailor the runtime, and there's definitely a possibility that you could produce a runtime that, let's say, harnesses the power of GPUs to provide massive compute for certain use cases that require it, for example. So, yeah, I think, will there be a GPU domain? I certainly hope so. Let's say that, Charlie. And I can definitely see how that would work. Okay. Gemini 3H is finished from Dresco PC1. It's not finished, no. We'll be ending incentivized portion of Gemini 3 next week. This time next week, 1 week today. What about Stake Wars 2? Yeah, great question. So Stake Wars 2 is, for anyone who's not aware, Stake Wars 2, we used to test domains and kind of highlighted to us that we need to rejig our kind of launch roadmap that has led to the phased launch. So what's going to happen is we're going to launch phase 1, which is consensus. Then we're going to deploy a persistent testnet. So Gemini 3 will essentially we kind of it'll run as long as people are on it, but we'll be asking anyone still running on the testnet to move over to our new testnet, codenamed Taurus, which we will see. We plan to kind of upgrade as we go along. There won't be like network resets as we had with Gemini 3 so far. And once we've got that network up, that's where we're going to run Stake Wars 2, because of course we still need to test domains at scale. So Stake Wars 2 will come between phase 1 mainnet launch and phase 2 mainnet launch. Zorkis, eager to get started. Is the date or block number known now, so I could use it in my countdown page? It is not. It's still up, is it? Wonderful. I'm just going to check. Oh, I've broken the slides now. Okay, so I mentioned this earlier. Zorkis's cat and okay. Stake Wars pause. It's got the block number. I assume that's live. Excellent. So yeah, we don't know Zorkis, but we appreciate that there's an appetite to know that as soon as possible. As we've mentioned previously, we're going to use the same as Gemini 3H. We'll have like a randomness a ceremony at the start of the network launch. This is all talked about in the roadmap update I put on the forum last week. And to kind of seed the entropy, kick off the randomness of the network to prove that it's not something that anyone could have known up front. We're going to use, as far as I know, the plan is again to use a Bitcoin block hash to seed that data. So yeah, as soon as we know that, we will let you know, Zorkis. And you never know, we might even dust off a countdown contest again. Ah, okay. I feel like I've been given a real workout today, which I appreciate. But I feel like we've run out of questions. It's only some food for thought from Zorkis there. So, all right, everyone. As we wrap up today's call, I want to take a moment to reflect on the journey we're on together. Building a revolutionary ecosystem like Autonomys is an exciting adventure, and we're making great strides every day. What makes this journey truly special is the strength and passion of our community. Your enthusiastic support, your thoughtful feedback, and your active participation aren't just appreciated, they're the very foundation of what makes Autonomys special. We're not just building a network, we're cultivating a vibrant, innovative ecosystem that's truly built by and for its members. And that's you guys. The recent buzz around the GPU plotter has been a breath of fresh air, and we've really enjoyed seeing everyone's engagement and feedback. I want to extend a special thank you to everyone who joined us live today and contributed to our discussions. Even you, Penguin. Your presence here, your questions, your insights, they all matter tremendously. You're the driving force that keeps us pushing forward, striving to make Autonomys better with each passing day. For those who might want to revisit any of the information we shared today, or for community members who couldn't join us live, don't worry. This call will be available on our YouTube channel shortly. We'll also be publishing some supporting posts to dive deeper into some of the topics we covered. So keep an eye out for those. So the partnership roundup, the exact mechanics and rules of the Genesis data contest, for example. Don't forget to start thinking about the important data you'd like to submit to our Genesis data contest, and take advantage of not just immortalizing yourself in the mainnet seed data, but also win some of the fresh new Autonomys merch. We'll also be providing details on how you can help us with initiatives such as the testnet rewards audit and the mainnet dress rehearsals soon. So please do stay tuned. Before we sign off, I have one small request. If you haven't already, please follow us on Twitter. We are at autonomousnet. And if you're feeling generous, help us spread the word by liking and reposting our announcements. As we gear up for mainnet, every bit of engagement helps us reach more people and grow our community. It's very important to us. Thank you once again for spending your time with us. Keep an eye on our socials for future announcements. We look forward to seeing you at our next event. Until then, keep farming, keep questioning, and as always, stay connected. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for joining, everyone.
Huge. Thank you all very much.